Hi there, I'm Alexander Stromberg and I'm the co-founder of Apollics. Apollics is a consultancy agency in the Netherlands fully specialized in process mining. And this is the first video we'll be making in a series of videos in which we'll be discussing the applications of process mining for your organization. If you click on this link, you can find the agenda of the release dates and the exact topics we'll be discussing. But for this video, we'll be focusing on the finance department and we'll be specifically looking at Maverick buying. We'll be discussing three things in this video. First of all, what is Maverick buying and its implications? We'll be taking a look at an online process mining dashboard, and lastly, how to get started with process mining. So, first of all, what is Maverick buying? Maverick buying is when one of your employees from your organizations is buying goods by bypassing the purchase department, and this can have several implications. First of all, you can be buying inferior goods at higher prices. The purchasing department already probably negotiated contracts with several suppliers for a certain standard of quality, certain delivery times, or also cash discounts for your organization. Second of all, it hinders financial planning, as the people who are Maverick buying probably did not create a purchase order beforehand. And lastly, you can also get into a conflict with your current suppliers, as if you're not buying for your contracted suppliers, you're probably buying from their competitors. So here we are in our online process mining environment of our software partner Celonis. And this is what we call the Variant Explorer. And in the Variant Explorer, we can explore for the most common variants within the purchase to pay process. As you can see here on top, there's a total of 1.12 million cases with a total order value of 2.16 billion. And if we look here in the middle of the screen, we can see the several activities which are being performed in this purchase to pay process. Underneath you can see the number of how often this activity takes place, and the arrows in between the different activities indicate how long it takes for those steps to be performed. So this is also what we call in our discipline the happy path. It's an easy, straightforward process flow, and it's also actually the most common variant, and this is how the company likes to see their purchase to pay process to go. However, this is only showing 38% of all the cases, as you can see in the bottom right. So what we're going to do is now we're going to add some more variants to this Explorer to see whether we can locate the Maverick buying within this process. So we're going to be adding the four most common variants. We're actually looking at 71% of all the cases. And as you can see here already at variant 4, you can see that Maverick buying happens here, as after the process start, it's following the arrow to record invoice receipt. And it basically means that the invoice is being received before there's a purchase order is created. So this is what we explained earlier as Maverick buying within the organization, and that's something you want to prevent. The Celonis dashboard is also very interactive. You can filter, for example, on just this process path, so we can isolate the cases where Maverick buying happens. So by clicking on this arrow and keeping this selection, we're only taking a look at all the cases which are part of Maverick buying. And as you can see, we're looking at in total of 76,000 different purchase order items with a total order value of 640 million. So now we located the Maverick buying, but we also want to find a way to overcome this or why it happens. And to do that, we're going to take a look at something what we call the conformance checker. And what the conformance checker actually do is after you drew a blueprint of how the process is supposed to happen and how you want it to happen, it will be comparing it with the actual data and to see how many of the cases are conforming. So what you see on the screen right now here is the blueprint, how we want our purchase to pay process to happen. By going to the overview, we can see that there's only 56% of all the cases are conforming, and it comes down to a total of 620,000 conforming cases and almost 500,000 of non-conforming cases. And 500,000 non-conforming cases are all caused by 16 different violations. And the conformance checker will also show us where those violations come from. And as you can see here, that in 7% of all the cases, the process starts with the record invoice received. And that fits exactly with the definition of Maverick buying in our case. So we can click on this step and we can perform what we call a root cause analysis. And by adding contextual data to the process mining dashboard, we can determine where Maverick buying occurs or why it happens. If you look at the top here, you can see that in 65,000 cases of all those violations, it happens at IDES Deutschland. And I know that this is a purchasing channel within our company. So that means that almost all the cases of Maverick buying happens within this department. Furthermore, if you scroll further down, it's also giving some context on at what vendors it happens, in what countries it happens often, but you can also see different material groups or different product groups. Well, and this way you can isolate the problem very easily and take steps to improve the Maverick buying within your company. So the three main things we learned in this video are that Maverick buying is harmful for your organization. The process mining is an excellent tool to identify Maverick buying within your purchase to pay process. And lastly, and most importantly, that process mining enables you to monitor improvements made over time as well. So now you're completely sold to process mining, but you might be wondering, why would I do process mining with Apollyx? Well, there are two very good reasons for that. First of all, Apollyx is one of the few consultancy agencies in the Netherlands fully specialized in process mining. On top of that, with our background in business, we look further than the data and also take the human aspect into account. And secondly, we're a young and dynamic company. That doesn't mean that we're only flexible, but mainly that we're result driven and that we don't like bullshit. So, are you curious now how process mining can help improve your organization? You can always request a free demo at www.apollyx.nl, but you can also reach out to Joost or to me with any questions or feedback you have, and we'll get you on your way with your process mining project within your company. Thank you for watching, and hopefully I'll see you at the next video.